Imagine a slow spiral in your path, a curve that begs you to stop and regard it. Imagine a little seashell that you'd encounter on a quiet beach. Its spiral begins at a little point and then progresses out in a smooth and organic manner. This simple form is purposeful. It adheres to a specific principle, the golden ratio, about 1.618 and pleasing and balanced to behold. Draw a deep breath and picture holding a seashell in your fingers. Observe its spiral develop steadily, with each new curve fitting comfortably with the one preceding it in a careful and organic manner. Nature's own principle, the golden ratio, ensures that each loop and swirl complements the overall shape. Look for this same sequence in numerous locations and discover a web of wonder and harmony between the world and yourself. Picture a field full of sunflowers. As you visualize them, observe the seeds in the center of each one, creating two spirals intertwined with one another. One spiral spirals in one direction, and one spirals in an opposite direction. This double spiral isn't for looks alone. It aids in each seed growing, conserving room for expansion. The shape is guided by the golden ratio, allowing the seeds to expand out in a manner in which they can stretch for sunlight. With such wise engineering, nature teaches us about simple math creating a useful and lovely form. Next, imagine a view of a sky full of stars at night. High in the distance, a spiral galaxy rotates peacefully in the blackness. There are billions of stars creating curved arms extending out into space, and each arm is in a spiral shape following a golden proportion. Despite these enormous and unknown galaxies being at a distance, they resemble a small seashell or a flowering sunflower. This reveals a connection between small and big. Nature's harmony connecting everything. Now let's stop for a minute and observe what spirals have in common. Whether a delicate curve in a seashell, a twisted spiral in a sunflower's seeds, or a spiral form in a galaxy, they all obey the same math principle. Not by chance, but through a manner in which nature creates and grows. What life teaches through the use of a golden proportion is about growing in harmony and harmonious forms. What it teaches is that beauty can be discovered in any curve and even in complex forms that can simply and naturally make sense. Think of a spiral as a mark of change and growth. Unlike a single direction in a straight line, a spiral comes in and out, growing steadily and at a slow pace. It's similar to many experiences in life. Progress isn't a direct journey, but sometimes a curving path in which new understanding comes with each curve. As a spiral in a seashell opens in layers, life sometimes advances through revisiting the same subjects, but with a deeper level of awareness each time. The golden proportion isn't about math, it is about discovering harmony in apparent chaos. Ancient minds, particularly in Greece, appreciated the golden proportion and saw it not only as a mathematical form, but as a mark of perfection in life. Ancient minds considered that even when life looks disorganized, nature holds a deeper harmony and lovely order. For centuries, architects and painters have utilized the golden proportion in creating items that naturally appear pleasing to the eyes. Nature's ageless key brings many in contact with many who have considered how simple proportion can form extraordinary beauty. Picture a soft spiral curve, such as a slow-turning windmill in a peaceful morning. All loops are even and constant, and it teaches us that change doesn't necessarily have to make a loud sound. Sometimes it takes its sweet time, moving steadily and gently. This can console us in our hectic lives when most times we hasten and become stressed. Remember, growth can occur at its pace, with each curve contributing to a larger picture. In nature, nothing occurs in a forced manner, but in a lovely, rhythmic motion. Now, think about a quiet moment when you're gazing at a slow-growing plant. How a vine spreads over a trellis, and how leaves spiral out of a stem reflects a natural design. They remind us that life in nature has a purpose, one simple yet profound order. That same order can allow you to trust in your life pace too. As with a growing vine, you can climb steadily and gracefully at your pace. Slow-moving water can appear spiral-shaped too. Let yourself imagine yourself in a calm pond and observe a quiet whirlpool in its calm water. The water spirals in a circle, moving steadily and peacefully. There's a peaceful beauty in twisting and curving water, obeying the same laws of nature that form a seashell, a galaxy, and a spiral leaf. That picture of spiraling water is a powerful metaphor for life's natural flow, one slow, relaxed motion that brings peace and continuity. The magic of the golden ratio is that it unites the world of numbers with the world of nature. It is a reminder that something as abstract as a mathematical concept can have very real, tangible effects. When you see a spiral, you're not just looking at a shape. You are witnessing a deep connection between the art of mathematics and the beauty of the natural world. This simple number, 1.618, weaves its way into the fabric of everything, from the tiniest seed to the largest galaxy, revealing a universe that is more interconnected than we might have ever imagined. The idea of the spiral and the golden ratio also brings us to think about balance in our own lives. Consider how the spiral grows in a balanced way, with each new turn building upon the last. This balance is something we often seek in our daily routines, finding a steady, even rhythm amidst the ups and downs. The gentle progression of a spiral can be seen as a guide, showing us that balance does not come from rushing forward, but from taking things one graceful step at a time. It reminds us that every phase of life has its own beauty and that growth is most satisfying when it unfolds naturally. In all of them, the golden proportion acts in a quiet manner and isn't apparent, softly curving out in nature. What you observe in a spiral in a seashell, in a sunflower's seeds, or in a distant universe's arms reveals harmony in nature. The golden proportion is a simple concept with lovely consequences. It is a principle in nature that reveals beauty can arise out of simple conceptions. Imagine a delicate flower opening its petals in sunlight, each petal placed precisely to make it resemble a picture drawn by nature. Envision the soft curve of a daisy's petals radiating outwards from a warm, sunny heart, or a rose holding onto its beauty gently. It is not a chance in nature, but a deliberate creation under a simple principle: the golden ratio. The golden ratio, roughly 1.618, is a little-known fact about nature. One principal rule that structures the world for us. In flowers, it determines the number of petals and how curved and in harmony with one another and with a perfect circle they must sit together. View each petal in a lovely melody, played in precisely the correct sequence to produce harmony. That melody is played over and over in numerous flowers, a simple meadow daisy through a grand garden rose. Examine a daisy closely. Its petals, in soft, curved waves, naturally appear to extend outwards towards the edge from a warm, sunny heart. It is not a chance. The golden ratio directs a daisy to position each petal such that it radiates out in an even, harmonious circle in harmony with surrounding light and atmosphere. In this manner, a living work of beauty is produced, balanced, pleasing, and harmoniously in harmony with nature's creation. Now imagine a sunflower. Look at the center and you'll notice two spirals, one to the left and one to the right. The spirals are created by the seeds, and each one is placed carefully according to the golden ratio. This serves to hold the most seeds without wasting space. It illustrates how efficient and lovely nature is, making space for each seed to grow and producing a pleasant arrangement that is pleasing to you. The rose, with its soft layers of petals, is the same. Each layer of petals is slightly different from the one beside it, and together they produce a full, rich appearance. It's as if the rose is holding its shape gently, with each petal in the correct position to contribute to its beauty. It's a lovely sight, and it assists the flower in opening up to receive sunlight and rain, both of which are very necessary for life. In this manner, the golden ratio works quietly, enhancing every aspect of the flower and its beauty. Imagine and visualize the golden ratio as a gentle guide, like a soft voice instructing each petal where to go in life. It's a gentle assistance for an artist's brush making a stroke, and many strokes combined produce a lovely picture. This unseen concept can be observed in a flower's soft curves and delicate details, transforming a plain flower into a symbol of balance and proportion in nature. People have long been in awe of such a natural design in the past. Ancient Greeks considered that the golden ratio represented perfect beauty, and they considered that such a special number facilitated lovely artwork, buildings, and even compositions for music. Nature employs the same golden ratio to produce perfect flowers, pieces of artwork that serve a purpose and are lovely to behold. It reveals a world with a semblance of order and a soft melody, connecting all that can be seen, even in a simple flower. Picture yourself walking in a peaceful garden with flowers surrounding you, and each one depicting harmony and beauty. As you stroll through flowers, pay attention to how each one's shape and curvatures make you slow down and observe closely. Flowers' arrangement is not arbitrary but a language, a soft conversation between nature and a beholder of such a view. Every flower describes a narrative about a pattern, about a form that over a period of millions of years changed its form. Such a natural design can also speak about our lives. As a flower opens its petals gradually, our lives reveal in stages too. There is growing, changing, and blooming over many years. Sometimes not a direct path, but a journey with soft turns and curvatures, each one linked with others. In a flower, one sees a reflection of oneself, recalling one about slow development and about each little move contributing to a larger picture, with beauty in it too. Think of the flower's petals in terms of parts in a book, individual chapters in life's grand book. They begin small and together, and then unfold and stretch towards sunlight little by little. That is much like the way in which we discover ourselves, with each new lesson adding a little more to our makeup. There is beauty in a flower, not only when it is in full bloom, but in its blooming, growing little and cautiously, with all its parts, becoming whole and lovely. In a garden, each flower teaches a lesson about life and its ordering. The proportion of gold brings harmony to life's disarray and teaches us that beauty is not arbitrary but designed according to a simple, organic principle. It is reassuring to realize that even when life is complex, a scheme underlies everything, a quiet ordering that ties all together in beauty and harmony. Observe these flowers and see how each one adheres to the proportion of gold. Flowers, beautifully placed and gently curved, paint a picture of beauty and harmony. That form in nature teaches us about intelligence in nature, one that guided and shaped all living forms for countless generations. It teaches us to move at a slower pace, pay attention and appreciate simple but significant forms in life. The next time a flower comes into your view, stop and observe its petals closely. Observe how its petals unfold in a manner that seems smooth and flawless. Let such a simple act remind you of life and beauty surrounding you in anticipation of your observation. By observing a slow blooming flower, one can learn about life, one in taking one's time in growing and in harmony with one's environment. Imagine standing on a peaceful beach at sunrise, with the soft waves making a soothing sound. The ocean, with its infinite waves rolling in, calls to you to stand and listen. With each wave rolling in and breaking on the beach, it appears to have a consistent rhythm, one that resembles the rounded forms of the golden ratio. Imagine it, The sky is softly tinted, and the water glows softly when kissed by the first light of morning. Waves roll in a slow, easy manner, curving into rounded forms and returning to the deep blue. As you observe, you can begin to notice that each curve of a wave has a natural, flowing beauty, one that appears almost created by nature herself. The natural rhythm of the ocean is not an accident. It is a language, revealed in the lovely forms of the golden ratio. The golden ratio, a number roughly 1.618, is famous for appearing in nature, in art, and even in architecture. In the ocean, it appears in the smooth transition between a peak and a trailing curl, in the way water folds over itself, and in the gentle rise and fall that continues forever. Consider how the tide rises and falls. When the water rushes in, it forms a crest, a rounded peak that gradually forms a curve. When it reaches the shore, it breaks softly, sending tiny droplets in all directions, then becomes flat and still. The easy transition from high peak to soft curve illustrates what proportion and balance are all about. It seems as if the ocean has secret rules that govern its every action. Now, imagine the shape in a tide pool when a rock is gently placed in it and ripples form. The ripples move outward in larger and larger circles, each one similar to the previous one. This chain of circles illustrates the same lovely shape seen in rolling waves in the ocean. In both instances, it appears that the golden proportion forms each ripple and then disappears in the water. Imagine ancient sailors crossing vast seas. In their minds, the sea was both a comfort and a mystery, a companion that moved in a soft and predictable manner. The constant rise and fall of the tide provided a feeling of order in an uncertain sea. Today, when we stand at a beach and view waves rolling in, we recall that the ocean's constant beat reflects a deeper, enduring harmony. That harmony, displayed in the gold proportion, ties together a tiny ripple in a tide pool with a massive ocean wave. The ocean's beauty is not in its grandeur, but in its little things about its motion. Observe a single waveform, the manner in which water crests and then drops off softly. That form is similar to an artist's brush mark, creating a picture that is both vibrant and soothing. How the wave glides softly is similar to the growth of many living forms, a constant, soft motion that brings peace and harmony. The ocean's motion in its natural form teaches us that life, too, is a sequence of soft, rolling motions. As waves rise and fall in a constant beat, our lives rise and fall in a similar manner, too. The ocean teaches us that advancement isn't necessarily about big leaps. Sometimes it's about moving steadily, softly, and purposefully. In each rolling wave, a lesson in determination, in a force that is both powerful and peaceful, can be seen. Take a closer look at the beach where waves strike the shore. The water does not crash hard here. It gently kisses the sand, forming soft foam and little waves behind it. Each wave, with its smooth, rounded edge, appears to know just when to stop. The combination of water and sand displays a natural harmony, a balance created over many years. It quietly demonstrates how simple, clear rules can build a world that is both strong and beautiful. The sound of the ocean demonstrates this harmony as well. Listen to the steady beat of waves coming in and out gently. The sound is like a gentle heartbeat, one that continues forever, a reminder that even in a large, changing sea, there is harmony. When you add the sound to the sight of waves rolling in and out, it produces a peaceful sensation that soothes and comforts the mind and soul. It feels as though the ocean invites you to synchronize your heart with its slow, relaxed beat. The peaceful rhythm of the ocean is a quiet but powerful reminder that beauty and harmony do not always require numbers, that they are all around in the curved form of a wave, in water flowing steadily onto the shore, and in the endless dance between sea and sky. That mathematical precision does not feel cold and far away, but warm and near, like a hug from Mother Nature. Imagine the horizon at which sea and sky merge, creating a soft, sharp line. That simple, discernible line reflects the harmony of the ocean. That line, crafted by nature, signifies the boundary between water and sky, chaos and harmony. As with the golden ratio governing how a spiral forms or a flower blooms, it guides the shape of the infinite, expansive sea, too. The ocean, with its infinite beauty, reflects a profound harmony, something both age-old and enduring, as constant as the tide. Picture the ocean as a grand, living canvas, painted with a delicate touch by nature's brush. Every crest and trough, each ripple and wave, is a brush mark, guided by one and the same principle governing all of nature's works. In the motion of water, one observes a narrative of harmony, a delicate balancing act between power and softness, between vigor and peace. That's the ocean's narrative, one conveyed in terms of the language of the golden ratio. Observe waves, and for a moment, remember to consider how that rhythmic motion in nature is linked with your feelings too. That soft rise and fall in tides mirrors your rise and fall in thinking and emotion. In ocean waves, slow motion, a message comes in moving with a similar slow pace, in shedding the urgency of life's hectic pace, and in appreciating simple, consistent beauty in a present moment. Have you ever considered whether the same simple concept that creates a sunflower or a seashell aided builders long ago? Standing in front of Giza's Grand Pyramids, these massive buildings that have sat in the desert for years, constructed of stone and with meticulous care, their shape is designed to reveal an invisible harmony, a beauty, and a concealed secret of proportion that many believe is linked with the golden proportion. Examine the pyramids. Each corner and each block appears to reveal a balanced harmony naturally. Builders of these tremendous buildings did not have our electronic computers, yet produced dimensions and angles that stun us today. According to legend, the dimensions and angles in their construction follow a proportion of approximately 1.618, a proportion seen in nature and in works of art, too. This proportion, the golden proportion, can be regarded as a principle of nature, one for producing harmony through connecting each part of a whole to its whole. Now, think about ancient Greece and visualize the Parthenon proudly situated at the Acropolis in Athens. Not only is this temple a beauty and a part of history, but it is a model for proportion too. The columns, spaces between them, and height of the building have been measured, according to legend, with the use of the golden proportion. That creates a proportion that conveys a sense of both grandeur and comfort. Walking over stones, one can almost imagine that each measurement was deliberately planned to represent the same principle seen in nature, such as in a curve in a flower or in a snail's spiral shell. The golden proportion can be regarded as a soft guideline that builders long ago utilized in an attempt to build structures. Despite not having a name for it, such as it is today, builders understood a kind of proportion that sounded and looked correct, like a melody that flows and doesn't stop. For instance, the manner in which the columns stand, spaced apart and in height, produced a harmonious proportion. It wasn't a matter of creating a pretty structure, but a matter of creating a room that seemed balanced and ageless. Harmony in these structures conveyed a message of beauty and proportion, a message that reached out to persons in times long past. The harmony in these structures conveyed a message of beauty and proportion, a message that reached out to persons in times long past. Imagine walking in a courtyard in an ancient temple, with soft sunlight filtering down onto white marble floors and ornamented stone pillars. Each pillar is in its perfect position, and each arch is nicely curved and expresses harmony. In these spaces, the gold proportion keeps reappearing, especially in doorway sizes, arch shape, and even overall form. Those doorways and arch and overall dimensions were not arbitrary. They reflected how builders could tie their work to a principle discovered in nature, consider how human imagination in cultures and centuries has consistently been drawn to the theme of harmony in nature. From Egypt's magnificent pyramids to Greece's lovely temples, a similar concept of proportion and harmony can be discerned as a unifying theme. It's almost as if early builders heard a soft voice whispering that a curve in a wave is perfect, and a petal in a flower opens gently. They translated that harmony into metal, wood, and rock, and it's for us in structures that evoke wonder and awe. Even as years pass and times change, memories of such older buildings speak to us. Their simple, balanced forms remind us that beauty can coexist, one that doesn't scream, but gently bids us to stand and admire. The use of the golden ratio in buildings teaches us that nature's path to harmony is not only for living things, but for that of humans too, and that which humans make and build. It unites the universe and our expression together. Picture following your fingers over a cool column of stone, seeing the curved shape and slow shifts in form. All detail reveals careful planning in creating such a site. All proportion, angles, and rhythmic repetitions in such older buildings combine to make a whole that is larger than its parts. They impart a sense of ageless beauty, one of harmony that quiets the mind and raises the heart. It is fascinating to observe that one can see in a fern opening, a spiral in a galaxy, and a lovely curve in an ancient temple. That same proportion, roughly 1.618. That same magical proportion, roughly 1.618, contains a key to a principle of harmony. In seeing it in buildings, one is reminded that humans, in search of beauty, have long attempted to replicate forms in nature. In spaces measured precisely between columns, in a doorway's soft curve, and in a general harmony in a temple, one sees a tie through centuries, a tie to the heart of nature's creation. Consider the talent of early builders in creating such wondrous buildings. They considered the world about them, the form of hills, the shape of river courses, and rise and fall of tides, and attempted to convey that same sensation of harmony in stone. They produced works that were not simply buildings. They conveyed a faith in a universe with a natural order, a faith in a tie between beauty and harmony. By situating their works in relation to that same universal principle, they produced spaces that even today evoke feelings of peace and awe. Imagine you're under a vast sky full of stars and looking at a spiral galaxy in the distance. It's a brilliant swirl of stars curving gently in a shape that seems drawn with a pen. That curved shape resembling a bud or a seashell isn't arbitrary. It adheres to a soft rule, one that is called the golden ratio. Stop and visualize that spiral galaxy, its spiral arms radiating outwards from a brilliant hub. Those spiral arms form a logarithmic spiral, a shape that repeats and repeats in nature. It could be the pretty curve of a sunflower seeds or a soft curl in a fern, but whatever, the golden ratio, approximately 1.618, seems to be a principle of nature, even in outer space. Now, visualize our Milky Way galaxy, even when it normally looks like a faint, milky smudge in the sky. Look down at it from high enough, and its spiral shape comes into view in all its glory. The stars, the dust, and the gas follow a sequence that reflects similar lovely curvatures in little things in our lives, not by chance, but in a manner that seems almost deliberate, as if the universe was designed according to a principle that prioritizes harmony and beauty at all scales. Look further out into outer space and view clusters of stars and brilliant light. New stars form in twisted and complex forms, often in curved, graceful forms, even when twisted, that pertain to the golden mean. In these outer space forms, gravity and time shape enormous, floating cloud-like clumps of gas into curved, smooth forms that exhibit both randomness and perfect order. In these outer space forms, creation's dance is reflected in soft spirals of life's reality. Picture a nebula as a grand, colorful photograph taken by nature. In the picture, Waves of gas swirl in lovely curved forms, and these forms follow the same proportion that guides a petal in a flower. Even when it is immensely big, its basic proportion doesn't vary much from a leaf's tiniest detail. Because of its relation between little and big, we can understand that our important proportion in life stretches a long distance out into the universe. The golden mean is not a rigid principle. It harmonizes nature and art. Ancient builders and painters saw its beauty and used it in buildings and works of art such that spaces and forms appeared naturally balanced. Today, when we see the same principle in the form of the universe, in a spiral arm of a galaxy and in forms of a nebula, we remember that laws that form even a leaf's tiniest detail in nature form big, grand structures in the universe too. Imagine floating gently through outer space, moving past whirling galaxies and brilliant puffs of gas. As each slow curve of a spiral arm glides past, you see the same harmony at work, a harmony that is in tune with the universe's rhythm. That slow, deliberate motion isn't an accident. It's a result of gravity, time, and laws combining together. The universe, big and complex as it is, seems to obey the same simple, definite laws governing a bending flower and a twisting vine. Think about your life for a moment then. What we observe in the stars and in galaxies teaches us that there is harmony in everything, a harmony connecting all, from individual grains of sand on a beach to a distant galaxy's expansive arm. The gold mean, with its perfect harmony, conveys a message of harmony that transcends size and duration. It tells us that beauty in nature isn't in one location, but is a common, unifying concept in the universe. Think about seeing, with each glimpse at a midnight sky, a grand, continuous dance of harmony and beauty. Every spiral-shaped group of galaxies, every softly molded group of stars, reveals calm strength in natural harmony, something present in the universe long, long ago, even before humans discovered its secrets. Same basic concepts governing a single flower's development can be seen in the expanses of space, connecting humanity with the universe in a profound manner. Imagine a peaceful pond early in the morning when nothing is stirring. It is quiet, and its surface is as calm and smooth as a sheet of glass. And then a soft wind blows, and soft waves form, and lovely dancing waves form in the water. That peaceful picture teaches us about peace and harmony in simple times. Observe the pond. Its quiet surface mirrors the sky, trees, and hills in the distance. All that can be seen is beautifully displayed in the water, for nature painted a perfect picture. Yet, when closely examined, one sees that even a little motion on its face forms soft waves. Those waves become big waves, and each one is a soft, transient pattern, but together, they contribute to beauty in the picture. Such soft motion is similar to how our minds function. As water begins to calm and then creates waves when disturbed, our minds have calm times and disorganized times too. When a person sits for a little period in quiet, then in a similar manner, calm can descend, such as a pond when a soft wind blows over it. Nature's harmony, creating these waves, teaches that inner peace isn't about imposing quiet, but about allowing waves of life to arise naturally and then gently pass over into calm again. Observe a drop of water and how it can make a large impact. When a tiny droplet is dropped into the pond, it creates circles that radiate outwards. Each circle is circular and radiates out evenly until it dissolves in the serene background. With such a small gesture, we observe that little gestures can make a large impact in our lives. One gentle word, one deep breath, or one serene moment can radiate out, changing our mood and balancing life. Water, in most cultures, symbolizes purity and a serene mind. The quiet surface of a pond reflects inner calm and provides an opportunity to reflect on our thoughts. Ancient civilizations instructed individuals that by observing the soft waves in water, one can let go of stress and attain inner calm. The gentle, recurring movement of waves reminds us that life has its own rhythm, one that, with practice, we can adhere to, bringing serenity into our lives. Picture a garden pond with water lilies floating on its surface. Flowers float in between, with delicate leaves and flowers elegantly arranged around them. With its reflection in the water, a beautiful picture is formed, one of nature's beauty and serene balance. Water not only reflects the beauty of the lilies, but it also displays its own beauty and asks us to appreciate nature's delicate work. That harmony between the flowers and their reflection is a serene dialogue between our outside and inside selves. Even when disturbed, the surface of the water does not remain rough for long. This is similar to anxiety in life. Any form of disturbance immediately results in calm. The ripples that are formed soon disappear, leaving the water clear once again, just as it was initially. This continuous back and forth between disturbance and calm is a natural process, much like learning how to manage stress. It indicates that even when the mind of a person is filled with worries, they are able to return to peace. Observe how the surface of the water is ideal for sunlight. During the morning, sunlight shines during dawn and sets at sunset, producing soft pink, gold, and tangerine hues to radiate on the water. These hues blend with shadows, trees, and the sky surrounding them, producing a scene that continuously changes with light and darkness. That lovely and changing scene on the water teaches us that beauty tends to reside in the balance between movement and calm, a balance in nature and within ourselves. Water reflects the world in a straightforward manner. It doesn't require elaborate tools or grand designs. The natural properties of water do all the work, reflecting the essence of what is around it in a soft, soothing mirror. This simple reflection reminds us that sometimes the most important things are the simplest. When we gaze into a body of water, we can see not only the beauty around us, but also a reflection of our own emotions. A clear, still pond can symbolize a clear mind, a mind that is peaceful and open to the beauty of the world without too many thoughts. Consider how water moves on its own. It flows around barriers, adapts to the environment, and always finds a way to remain balanced. This natural tendency to adapt while remaining calm is something we can learn from. Just as water quietly carves its path through the land, we can move through our lives with quiet strength. In the patterns of ripples and reflections, there is a tale of resilience, a tale that teaches us to go with the natural flow of life rather than fight against it. The calm water of a pond teaches us that inner peace can be created and sustained. It teaches us that no matter what, in a changing world, quiet times can and will occur. It is in these quiet times that we can discern the harmonies that balance nature and emotion. All of the ripples and reflections in the water represent this harmony and remind us to seek out our quiet times in hectic segments of life. Imagine walking into a peaceful gallery in which each statue and each picture carries a hidden message about nature. Imagine a lovely picture in which each shape and each brush mark is precisely placed, and it helps calm your mind and heart. One lesser-known but powerful secret in many famous works of art is the golden ratio, a simple figure, approximately 1.618, that artists have utilized for centuries to infuse harmony into their works. Think of Leonardo da Vinci, one of the greatest painters of all time. In Mona Lisa, many believe Leonardo positioned it in such a manner that the smile and background follow the golden ratio. Leonardo studied closely in and about nature and discovered that a face or a petal can reveal its proportion through a simple form. In Leonardo's renowned drawing, The Vitruvian Man, Leonardo teaches us that a human form can be powerful and lovely, yet precisely balanced. In such a manner, the golden ratio works in a soft whisper, holding everything in its proper position. Now picture Michelangelo and his renowned statue of David. Despite having been chiseled out of a single block of white marble, David's shape seems to move with quiet force and harmony. David's arm shape, hair fall, and stance all exhibit a concealed harmony, as if Michelangelo heard nature's soft messages, like harmony in a spiral of a conch or in a blooming flower, and translated them into marble. Think about buildings in the traditional times. Ancient Greeks constructed lovely buildings such as the Parthenon, with spaces and columns placed with care. Builders in times past did not have machines such as machines today, but constructed buildings that even today appear elegant and balanced. Ancient builders understood that beauty arises out of order. Old buildings tend to exhibit the golden ratio, a reminder that in creation and in life, harmony is key. Modern artwork adheres to the same ageless principle. Observe the artwork of artist Piet Mondrian, whose blocks and grid of colors at first glance appear simple, but when closely examined, one can discern a profound order in the arrangement of his lines and a harmony in colors. Mondrian understood that beauty arises out of harmony and simplicity. In his artwork, each square and each square of color forms a visual rhythm, a soothing harmony that mirrors the natural forms in a peaceful woodland or a peaceful sea. Picture yourself seated and observing a time-lapse video of an artist working. With each deliberate brushstroke, the picture comes together with a guiding principle of inner harmony. Each detail finds its proper position, similar to petal flowers perfectly fitting in a circle. It is fascinating and soothing, with a rhythmic motion in the artwork, similar to the motion in and about you in nature. Art shows harmony in nature. That same harmony, producing a river's curved path or a leaf's turn, has been present in works of art for centuries. From a face's soft curve in a Renaissance work to a modern sculpture's bold form, the golden proportion informs us that beauty is not an accident, but a part of life. Considering these wondrous works of art, visualize a slow-moving artist's fingers over a canvas, obeying the same laws of nature that form a seashell or a rose in full bloom. With each brushstroke, a peaceful harmony, a quiet conversation between artist and Mother Nature prevails. That conversation tells us that with a brush, a chisel, and even with columnar arrangement, a quest for harmony and proportion is a language everyone can speak. Applying the golden proportion in artwork is not math alone. It is about one perfectly placed curve, one perfectly placed line, creating a peaceful, whole feeling. It tells us that even a small detail, no matter its minute proportion, is part of a larger whole, one that is whole and at peace. That concept can remind us in life too, that small harmonies can contribute to overall peace. Imagine you're in a room and in front of a work of art, and you're seeing balanced, smooth forms. There is a special reflection of the light, and everything feels peaceful in the room. All artwork teaches us that beauty is derived through balance and that simple, natural laws can produce something incredible. All artwork vows that beauty and harmony can forever coexist with the gold proportion. It informs us that, similar to nature, artwork is a graceful combination of parts placed in a harmonious manner, a combination that can calm our hectic minds and enable us to perceive the world differently. Imagine a curved shape drawn gently onto a peaceful sheet of paper. It flows beautifully with no sharp corners, as if drawn by nature. This is quiet geometry at work, a concealed blueprint for the forms in and about us. The key part of this blueprint is a simple principle known as the golden ratio, a figure near 1.618 that turns up in everything from a curve of a snail shell to grand works of art. Let's begin at the start. The golden ratio is a figure you arrive at when you divide a line in two, and the whole line is in relation to the larger part, as the larger part is in relation to the smaller part. That is, if the larger part is A and the smaller part is B, then A plus B divided by A is equivalent to A divided by B. This tidy relation consistently yields about 1.618. It's a kind of magic, but actually a mechanism for keeping in proportion. Now, picture a sequence of squares in which a new square's side is equal to the two preceding squares' side totals together. As a stack, these squares form a spiral that bulges out in a continuous curve and expands. This spiral is a fine demonstration of quiet geometry at work. It's a demonstration of a simple principle, iterated over and over, creating a predictable yet lovely complication. This concept is not only about paper or plain forms, it is also in nature. Consider a pine cone or a sunflower. The pattern of the scales of a pine cone or the seeds of a sunflower is not random. They have a pattern that resembles a spiral in our heads. In both instances, the golden ratio is what allows each piece to be placed so that it maximizes space and is aesthetically pleasing. It's like nature uses this ratio to link everything together so that it all works well together. Even the structures that people build reflect this easy and beautiful mathematics. The golden ratio is applied in most well-known buildings and works of art. If you consider an old temple, an ancient statue, or a contemporary painting, you may notice that some measurements just feel right. This is because they are applying the same ratio, a small reminder of the natural harmony that people have enjoyed for centuries. Consider this. Imagine a line that divides into two pieces in the right ratio, with one piece being slightly larger than the other. That small difference, when it is repeated many times, forms a spiral that feels natural and soothing. It flows smoothly, like the way we think or breathe in a steady and gentle manner. This is math, in a sense, that demonstrates that easy flow, and it is referred to as the golden ratio. To learn math in a simple way, let's use simple language. Let's say that you have a rectangle. If you remove a square from a rectangle and have a shape that looks a lot like the square that you removed, then you have a golden rectangle. That shape looks pleasing to the eye because it looks balanced and simple to understand. Artists and architects prefer that shape, and one reason is that it reflects a perfect harmony, a soothing math that feels good about order. If you sit and draw a picture of a golden rectangle, when you divide its long side by its short side, you will always have about 1.618, and that is the golden ratio. That's a special number. It's a math concept that reflects growing naturally. Often the golden ratio is a kind of harmony recipe, one that nature employs when creating a spiral in a seashell, for instance, or when positioning a flower's petal arrangement. And here's an easy one. Have you ever noticed how leaves sprout out of a plant? Leaves will sprout out in a spiral about a stem in a way that maximizes sunlight for them. That's a healthy growing style for a plant, and it looks pretty too. It's simple math, the same math of the golden ratio, that helps reveal why leaves sprout out in such an orderly, rhythmic manner. It's a quiet message, full of secrets. That growth can serve a purpose and be pleasing when following a concealed but ubiquitous math in nature. Now, think about drawing a curve with a pen and pencil on a sheet of paper. As long as your pen doesn't stop moving, draw a soft spiral that turns and turns, a smooth spiral. All parts of this spiral follow the golden ratio. As much as it involves math and seems complex at first, its creation is simple and peaceful. A shape that is both tidy and vibrant. It reveals that a simple math concept can make a strong and lovely creation in a natural manner. The same principle works for seeing our world too. As you view a beautifully crafted vase, a work of art, or a garden layout, there is an invisible harmony that is pleasing to behold. That harmony is produced through utilizing the golden ratio, a simple principle for putting items in a manner that feels balanced. It teaches us that even in disorder, a deeper harmony can exist, a concealed arrangement that keeps everything in its proper position. The golden ratio, in a lot of regards, is an unobtrusive mentor, guiding the creation of a leaf, a skyscraper, and everything in between. It doesn't scream for your attention, but softly molds our world in such a manner that everything seems to go together, a harmonious whole that feels balanced and peaceful. Once one learns simple math, one begins to appreciate beauty in ordinary items, a beauty produced through harmony and equilibrium. Imagine you are standing in front of something you really love. A book, a painting, or even a staircase. Search for any aspect of it that adheres to this natural ratio. It may be the size of the book in relation to its width, or the way the lines of the staircase draw your eye in a particular manner. These small patterns are everywhere, demonstrating that beauty and balance are not mere coincidence. They are the result of a quiet form of math, a hidden blueprint that is part of the natural order of the universe. The more we know about the golden ratio, the more we realize how easy math can transform the world. It teaches us that balance is not something we have to create. It already exists in nature. Whether it's in the smooth form of a spiral, the pleasant form of a golden rectangle, or the way leaves sprout on a branch, this simple ratio is always present, directing growth and creating beauty. Imagine a peaceful moment when you sit and regard small parts of nature, like a delicate arrangement in a single leaf, or the flawless form of a snowflake. Sit with a fallen leaf in your hands. Its little veins radiate out in a delicate arrangement, each one in its proper position, distributing water and life to each little section. In its simple form, there is a message of care, a form that is both functional and lovely. Now, visualize a winter morning when the whole world is blanketed with a soft cover of snow. Gaze closely at one single snowflake for a minute and appreciate its quiet beauty. Each one of them possesses its individual crystalline shape, following simple laws of form and proportion. There is no two alike, and yet each one a lovely demonstration of nature's talent for creating beauty out of simplicity. Little marvels such as these remind us that even during winter's short days, under cover of snowy white, there is a concealed message of balance and accuracy. Breathing in, allow the soft caresses of nature to fill your head. The rustle of leaves, a distant bird cry, a soft breeze. In quiet reflection, recall how these parts of nature echo your life's steady beat. Much like a leaf's branches, its veins move in a simple rhythmic motion, and your experiences and thoughts intertwine in complex forms that make you, you. Observe that in yourself too. There is a shape, one that, even in its individuality, speaks a shared language of balance. As you go on, remember the soft curve of a petal in a rose. Imagine a rose with each petal opening one at a time, ever so gently, revealing beauty in nature. The petal creates a spiral according to a soft, secret principle, a principle known as the golden ratio. It is a simple, quiet harmony that brings beauty and peace. As a rose blooms, each new moment in your life expands and branches out from the one that came before, creating a larger, lovely picture. Now imagine the shape of ripples in a quiet pond. Envision a calm, untroubled surface, broken for an instant by a single drop of rain. Observe the rounded circles radiating out, each one perfectly rounded and blending softly into calm water. Remember, in a soft ripple, that even a little act can go a long, long distance and touch everything in its path. It's a quiet reminder. Each little act, each act of kindness, helps build harmony in your inner life. Now think about a winding path in the woods. Envision a path that gently meanders through high trees and soft sunlight at a leisurely pace. The path is not a direct one, but its turns produce a sensation of motion and peace. In a similar manner, your life path consists of many turns and twists that reveal a theme of expansion and transformation when examined closely. Any curve in a path, even an unanticipated one, is part of a larger picture that feels secure and balanced with life. In quiet times, you begin to understand that patterns in nature are not individual occurrences, but part of a larger, interconnected scheme. The veins in a leaf, a single individual shape in a snowflake, a spiral in a rose, waves in a pond, and turns in a winding path, all reveal a profound harmony that is constant and soothing. They remind you that beauty can be discovered in small things, and even a single small part is significant in life's narrative. Reflect for a moment on how these patterns of nature have touched so many hearts in the past. Poets have written of the form of a leaf or the transience of a snowflake. Painters have attempted to depict the delicate beauty of a rose. And philosophers have pondered how even the most disordered parts of nature contain some order. When you catch a glimpse of this order in the little moments of your life, it can guide you, a gentle reminder that beauty and harmony are near. Sit quietly and recall these patterns, and allow any sounds around you to help quiet your mind. Allow the gentle rustling of leaves, a distant movement of water, or a gentle breeze to be a soothing background for your thoughts. In this quiet place, notice your slow, deep breaths, each one coming in and going out in harmony with the world around you. Like a steady beat in nature, your breath reminds you of a harmony that unites everything, including yourself. In these quiet moments, try to observe things without judgment. Just allow your eyes to enjoy the little details of a nearby leaf or the delicate frost on a window. Each observation is an opportunity to appreciate the beauty around you that demonstrates patience, harmony, and quiet strength in nature. Through this simple, mindful looking, you can feel more grounded and then respond to the world in a calm, thoughtful manner. Think about how these patterns in nature can reveal what is in your heart. As a leaf's veins form a web that enables it to survive, your experiences, memories, and thoughts from your shape and your beauty in a special way. Every awareness and quiet thinking period is a little wave that brings peace to your inner life. Looking at these patterns in nature, remember that harmony is not only in the universe, but in yourself too. Use this realization and seek peace in yourself, in the delicate shape of a snowflake, in a blooming flower, and in a soft ripple in water. There is a lesson. Beauty is in detail, and harmony is in life at all times. Enjoying such a moment, you grasp the fact that each little part creates a big, harmonious whole. Now, with such a peaceful reflection, sit and pay your attention to a soft harmony between seeing and feeling peaceful in yourself. With each stop, when you pay your attention to delicate patterns in the universe, you don't simply see nature, but you wake your inner peace too. In such a period, slow down, appreciate little marvels, and believe that, similar to nature, your life is growing in harmony and beauty too. Imagine a peaceful, infinite reflection in a serene lake at sunset, with each small ripple holding a message about nature's creation. Envision the peaceful face with soft colors of a waning day, with nature singing a lullaby in a soft voice. In a peaceful state, we have reached the conclusion of our journey. One journey through concealed patterns and lovely harmony in the golden ratio. We have experienced nature's soothing language in its forms. In our journey, we have experienced the rounded spiral of a seashell and soft opening of a rose petal, both crafted by a simple principle, one principle present in rhythmic waves of the sea and lovely forms of ancient structures. Nature's soft mentor, a value near 1.618, united them, connecting even minor details with grand marvels in the universe. Can you recall the naturally curved shape of a seashell or soft arrangement of rose petals, opening in perfect harmony? All such forms, and even older structures and renowned works of art, remind us that beauty is not arbitrary, but originates in a concealed harmony, one constant, unchangeable beat, a part of the universe. Now visualize holding a soothing thought in your sleep about a peaceful state. As a soft ripple in a quiet pool, a soothing harmony in the golden ratio stays in your head. It talks about continuity and harmony. One assurance that even when a new morning comes, beauty in the universe, a part of its creation, is ever constant and present. Imagine a peaceful river, its water gliding over smooth rocks, gently moving over and over again. How the water glides, the shape of the river bank, and the soft blending of shadow and sunlight all reveal the same quiet harmony that we have examined. All shape and form in the earth softly convey this message, a reminder that life at any moment possesses a peaceful and constant beat. This constant harmony is a soft melody played in the background of our lives. It is one and the same melody that forms a picture that doesn't ever become outdated, a shape of a big building, and even the harmony in a blooming garden with nature. Even in the big sky at night, full of whirling galaxies and blazing stars, quiet harmony can be seen. In a single leaf, a whole group of leaves, and even a whole group of stars, the gold proportion ties them together in a quiet, constant dance. As your mind begins to settle with these thoughts, let your mind become as calm and transparent as that peaceful lake at dusk. View each picture: the whirling seashell, the balanced flower, the constant waves, and the big buildings, all blending together into one constant picture of peace. That picture gently reminds us that despite life's ever-changing character, a lasting harmony underlies each and every moment. Knowing that, visualize yourself floating gently in the soft current of nature's scheme. As you settle in for sleep, know that beauty and harmony through the gold proportion will attend with you in your sleep. Let it be a quiet companion, providing comfort and motivation in your sleep. As the peaceful evening embraces you, consider this: how can the enduring harmony and beauty of the golden proportion motivate your aspirations and direct your path tomorrow?